Howdy y'all, I'm back, and today we're going to talk about a little game called Bang on Balls Chronicles. Yes, it's a real game. It was released on all platforms on October 5th, 2023. What is Bang on Balls? I've seen it described as a platformer, but it's a lot more than that. It's an open world 3D sandbox adventure. It's not really akin to any other game that I've ever played, so we're going to do an atypical review for an atypical game. So let's start at the beginning. You take on the role of a fully customizable character named Bob. Bob is an intern at Bang on Balls Productions, which is a movie production company. You start the game in a backlot which serves as an open world hub. From there, you can access 4 different movie sets, which are basically open world arenas. The first of which is Viking Invasion. You have to do Viking Invasion before you unlock the second one. As you may have guessed by the title, you have to defend the world from a Viking invasion. There are several missions that you have to complete before you ultimately take on the big bad Viking boss. Don't worry, it's not this guy. But there are several mini bosses that you'll encounter in the world that you have to take on, such as a centurion in the Roman Colosseum. Centurion, whatever. While the objectives themselves are linear in nature, you are free to explore the open maps as you please. In the Viking Invasion, you'll come across a Roman bathhouse, the Colosseum, several different castles, as well as the English countryside. I found a lot of charm and quirkiness that I loved in the Viking world, but it was pretty well contained. As I wrapped up my time in Viking Invasion, I thought this game is awesome, but it could be more. Enter Cold Race to Space. This is the second movie set or open world map that you can access from the hub, and basically, you have the side of the USA and the USSR as they compete to go to space. Now, no matter which side you go to, the layout's basically going to be the same. After you finish constructing the rocket, you're going to liberate mission control, fuel the rocket, and establish communications, in whichever order you want to do so. I ended up going to the Soviet side first, and I had a lot of fun. Now, the Russian side of the map was a little bit smaller than the American side, but it was about the same size as the Viking Invasion map itself. The details here were awesome too. Now, coming off the smaller, quaint, and less ambitious Viking Invasion map, the Cold Race to Space felt like the perfect escalation of gameplay and activities. They upped the ante just enough to pique my interest and keep me intrigued. More details, more activities, more bosses, more charm. Heck, once you finish the American missions, you can go to a whole other open zone in the swamp area and have yourself a gator barbecue. Know what I mean? I loved this open world. It was a lot of fun. And I thought, hey, if they keep this pace up, this is going to be an awesome game. Nothing could have prepared me for the next open world, which is Kraken's Lost Coins. As you can see, this level opens up on, well, the open sea. There is so much fun, swashbuckling adventure to be had on this one map. Now, this map is huge. You start out on a center island, and everything around you is in a giant circle with compass directions in the sky, and you have the open sea. I immediately found a pirate ship and took them out. Now, say you want to get straight to business, you don't want to mess around, just get the objectives done. Well, you're going to go to 6 different islands, get 6 different Kraken coins, each guarded by individual bosses. One of the bosses is going to be voodoo themed, another boss is going to be like a giant flaming coconut, then you're going to have a pirate boss, and so on and so forth. After you collect them all, you'll return them to the center island and you'll fight a giant kraken and you'll be done with the level. That being said, my favorite part of this level was the open swashbuckling adventure. I love feeling like a pirate and taking on other pirates, destroying their ship and taking their gold. Well, there's not really any gold, but you see those blue orbs at the top right? Throughout the whole game, you're trying to collect those so that you can upgrade your equipment, get new helmets, get new gear, get new weapons and shields. Most of which are purely cosmetic, but some of which have benefits or special abilities such as Mjolnir, Death's Scythe, or the NASA jetpack. Some of these items with special abilities you'll get from defeating bosses, mini-bosses, or even platforming to certain areas. But others you'll have to buy with those blue orbs. The good thing about the ships on Kraken's Lost Coins is that they respawn whenever you leave the set. So you can go out, come back in, and you'll have all these ships here. And every single one of them, even the good guys, will have a treasure chest on board that pops up after you sink them. And each of those treasure chests has at least 5,000 of those orbs, which is pretty much good enough to buy almost anything. All that being said, I had an incredible time on Kraken's Lost Coins. Most of the time I spent taking down pirate ships because it was so fun. It was like a Sea of Thieves adventure that, wasn't as stressful. After I finished this level, I thought, man, that was a peak experience. There is absolutely no way they can top that on the new island. But man, I was wrong. Enter Time Trouble on Kaiju Island. This final level or map is phenomenally crafted, and every detail exudes passion and dedication. It's basically a fictitious but beautiful depiction of Japan through different eras of time. There's an area that's set in ancient Japan. There's an area set in like 1850s and I think 1980s, as well as 1999 Tokyo. This level also has some of the best and most memorable boss battles in the game. Each section of the map also has its own features. If you roll down the snowy slopes of Mount Fuji, you become a snowball. If you're cruising down the highway of Tokyo, you become a tire that goes really fast. Here, you can use the environment to your advantage to take out enemies. To top it all off, the boss battle at the very end is one of the most epic and awesome sequences I have ever been in any game. Basically, you collect 4 separate cores to assemble a giant mecha Bob in order to face the Kaiju. This level's final epic boss battle consists of 3 different waves, where you'll fight against Godzilla, Mothra, and eventually you'll come across Mecha Godzilla. One of the cool features about this is you're giant, so you're crushing through homes, houses, giant buildings in order to have this battle, and it's such a fun experience. Time Trouble on Kaiju Island's final boss battle might just scratch that Pacific Rim itch you've been having. After you finish this level, there's one final epic boss to defeat. Now, one of the things I didn't talk about were the achievements. This game has some crazy different achievements. There are no achievements for completing levels. The achievements consist of farting in different places. Yes, you heard that right, farting in different places. Now, even if you don't like fart jokes, this one made me chuckle. This achievement is called It's Okay to Be Nervous. Now, there are some shortcomings as well. The camera can be temperamental and wonky, especially in tight spaces. There are also rendering issues at a distance. As you can see, the frame rate for the characters drop when they're further away, whereas the closer characters are fine. I also ran into a couple clippings, environmental clippings on the side of Mount Fuji. Now, while I think that having every single achievement consist of farting in a different location is absolutely hilarious, it does come with its own shortcoming. Basically, you can 100% the game on achievements or trophies without having to fight the boss, and I thought that felt a little cheap. All that being said, I did not expect to have such an amazing experience when I picked this indie title up on a whim, but I did. Overall, I'm going to give this game a 9.25, averaging 9.5 subjective and 9.0 objective. I highly recommend picking this game up. It is a blast. You can grab it for $25 on Xbox, PS5, or Steam. Anyway, thanks for watching.